G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's lunchtime. I'm down here at the harbour. It's a glorious day. The breeze has changed a little bit. It's westerly at the moment, southwesterly by the looks of it. But as you can see, it's a blue sky and it's a glorious autumn day. So what we'll do is we'll go on a walk and talk, and I want to continue a book summary that I commenced this morning because it's so interesting and there was just so much in it. I think I need to do a B version of the book summary as well, just to continue some of the powerful points. So just to fill you in, the book summary that I'll do today is entitled "If You Are So Smart, Why Aren't You Happy?" by Dr Raj Raghanathan. And it's a book which delves into the reasons why some people are just always unhappy. And he came across and he delivered the 7 sins of unhappiness, basically detailing the sort of things that people do which will almost guarantee their unhappiness. So let's move on from that. So the first vlog that I did this morning talked about those 7 sins, the 7 sins of unhappiness. So what I want to do now is just go through some of the formal points in the book that he talked about and see where they can lead us as well, because there's one aspect of this book which I found very interesting indeed. So what the author talks about here is he talks about the importance of finding the emotions that you can connect to your happiness and making more room in your life to experience them. Because according to the author, you need to make room for happiness. You know, you can't allow other things, other priorities to continually get in the way and squash your ability and crowd out your ability to be happy. A lot of people cause their own sort of unhappiness by not allowing themselves, not giving themselves permission to be happy. And one of those things that people do, and the traps that people generally seem to fall into, is that, as we said before, they prioritize other people's interests ahead of theirs. Their children, their parents, their partner, their boss, you name it. How many times in our lives have we had a choice to make? You know, do I stay back at work and finish off this report, or do I go out with my wife on a date, or do I not do this in order to do that? And what the author is saying is that if you're doing that occasionally, then it's okay, you can work around it. But there are some people who have such demanding lifestyles, such demanding jobs, that they're always letting down their partners, their children, their families, letting work get in the way every time, so that they don't get a chance to live the full spectrum of their lives. Now, you get married, you have children, and then you spend the rest of your life working, for example. Or you're married, you've got children, and then some people have girlfriends, and the girlfriends seem to get the better end of the deal, you know. Now, I've known of relationships where the wife never went on a decent holiday and never did this and never did that. But all of a sudden, when the husband starts playing up and gets into a relationship, then all of a sudden, as we said, they're going on these wonderful holidays and they're experiencing things that the long-suffering wife never got to experience. So the message here is very simple: to make room in your life to be happy, and don't look for excuses why you can't do this and you can't do that. Sometimes you just got to force yourself to do things with your friends, with your family, with your children, go on that holiday, even if you can't afford it. Or leave work early one day to catch up with your wife and go out. Or take a Saturday off and go watch your children playing sport. Because not only will you make yourself happy, but you'll also make them happy as well. So the first key message from this book is to not devalue your own happiness, to prioritize it, because you too are entitled to be happy. You're worthy of being happy. Don't think that you're not worthy of being happy. So make it a goal and plan for it. Action it. Do whatever you have to do to get it done, because the work is never going to disappear. Your career is always going to be demanding, but you need to find the time and make the time to make some memories with your partners. And what the author then goes on to say is that what you should try and do is ask yourself a simple question. Ask yourself, when did you feel happy today? Remembering today's 24 hours made up of lots and lots of moments, 86,400 seconds. And throughout the day, our emotions ebb and flow. There's no doubt about it. We have up times, down times, and a lot of boring times. But you need to ask the question, when did I feel happy today? And then once you identify, and it's good to have a little journal there, a happy journal, where you can write down when you felt happy and why you felt happy. And then all you have to do is just try and replicate that and do it more, because there are certain things, there's a certain recipe that each person has to their happiness. It's not necessarily the ingredients, but it's the order in which you do things. It's the syntax of certain things that give the greatest impact. So spend some time thinking about what makes you happy, and as we said, prioritize it and do more of it. But also take some time to ask your partner, ask your children, and identify what makes them happy, what specifically makes them happy, what specific things and in what order makes them happy, and then just try and create happiness. Be the purveyor of happiness and joy within your social circle, within your group, wherever you can. But by the same token, also focus on your own happiness. Because if you don't feel happy or fulfilled, then your cup will never floweth over, so that you can be generous enough to make others around you feeling happy and good as well. So we all need our little dose. Doesn't need to be a big dose, but we all need a little dose of happiness on a regular basis, just to make us feel fulfilled and to keep us bubbling along. The next point in this book is very, very profound and very, very powerful. I was quite surprised to have read this, but it is something that I think we should all mull over. And they talk about here about people who are needy or avoidant of love. And we all know about lots of these people. We've come across these people in our lives. There are some people who are extremely needy, and there are other people who are extremely avoidant of love. But what the author suggests here is that the best place to be in order to be sustainable and to be a good companion is to be neither too needy or to be neither too avoidant of love. So something to think about. So to find the middle ground is what the author suggests. And to be very, very generous wherever you can in terms of giving love. But the author makes a very strong and clear point. So let me talk about this, and it may irritate some sensitivities in people, but we'll say it anyway, because at the end of the day, I'm just passing on what I've read. I'm not making this up, and I'm not suggesting that these are this is the truth and or the way of the world, but this is a person's view, and it's something that I think we all may need to contemplate. Because what they say here, and especially this is really relevant in this day and age where we've got a lot of broken families, a lot of divorces, and a lot of children growing up in environments which are tricky. Gone are the days where parents would stay together a lifetime and children would grow up in a stable home and environment. So the author says this: people who don't experience parental love while growing up are either at one end or the other end of a particular spectrum. They are either needy or avoidant. So you don't know how it's going to work out, but it's important to understand is that if you don't grow up feeling loved and experiencing love within a family environment, then you may experience one of these types of behaviours, and you can either be too needy or avoidant of love. So the author then goes on to say that we need to be cautious and careful of people who desperately seek or avoid love. Because what happens is, in their growth and development, there's been a supply and demand in terms of love, and what happens is that if you haven't had love, then you become too needy, and I guess if you've or you can become avoidant, completely avoidant of love, and not even wanting to interact or to engage or to transact with people around you. You become very cold and distant. Or at the other end, you become puppy-like, always wanting to be stroked, always wanting to be patted, always wanting to be reassured. And that, once again, is very, very draining and very, very painful to the other partner. So something to contemplate. And for those who are not yet in relationships, the important message, I guess, to take from this is that you need to assess what type of person you're getting into a relationship with. And what you don't want to do is to get into a relationship with somebody who's far too needy, because they will run you ragged and they will drain you of your energy, and there'll be issues, potentially big issues later on in the relationship. And also, nobody wants to be in a relationship with somebody who avoids love and doesn't feel love and doesn't give or receive love. So be very, very careful, I guess, is the important message from this author. And the last point to come out of this book is where the author says that we need to be dispassionate as much as possible in our pursuit of passion, but to be flexible and patient. Because if we're too passionate or if we're too distant, then that, as we said before, can cause problems. But what we need to do when we're in relationships with people is we need to be patient. So the author says, by all means, be passionate about your goals and dreams. Go for it and really push forward with all those goals and dreams that you have. But at the same time, you need to be flexible and patient in your approach so you don't tire out. You don't drain your partner and cause yourself grief later on. Because what we've found over the years is that the more time you make for the people around you, the less they need of you, or the less they want of you. Now, you see families where parents don't spend much time with their children, abandon their children. I guess, as I said, those two basic things, and yet the kids can't wait to be with their parents. They love their parents to death. And then you see other families where the parents give everything to the children. They dedicate their lives to their children, doing this, doing that, running them to the swimming, running them to school, sending them to the best schools, making the best of every opportunity to go on holidays and do all these wonderful things. And the children, don't appreciate it. If anything, they despise their parents and don't want anything to do with their parents. So once again, as we said, it's a supply and demand sort of issue, where you can give too much love and I guess make people want to avoid your love and your attention, or you can give far too little and make people become too needy and wanting to continue to drain you at every opportunity of whatever love they can or attention that they can get from you. So I think I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club, where we've done the B-side to the book summary. So this is one of those books where we've done two versions. We've done an A version and a B version. And the book, once again, is entitled If You Are So Smart, Why Aren't You Happy? By Dr Raj Raghanathan. And we've got the Coloroi coming in, so we're going to see the water being churned up here, which I absolutely love. So let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, stay reasonable. And let's make the most of this beautiful autumn day. And wherever we can, let's help each other grow, develop, and become the best versions we can of each other, and to be the wind beneath our wings, the waves beneath our boards, the turbines propelling us in the direction that we want to head, and the zephyr filling the sails and being the fair weather behind us. So once again, look at this water, look at this surge. How awesome is it? I can never get enough of this. I absolutely love it. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this episode, and we'll chat again. I'll come to you from a different location with a different message, a message of empowerment, and let's hope that we can live a long, healthy life, and we can live, learn, and pass on whatever wisdom, whatever experience we've accumulated over the years. Yasas, Filakia, and bye for now.